same text. Very quickly, in your groups, what is the text all about? What's the text all about? What do you think it's about? Any ideas? What do you think it's about? Have you got A, B, C, D, E here? Have you got? So what's it all about?
It's about lions.
It's about lions? It's about tattoos, yes, but what's it about? What's the context? What can you think? What do you think it's all about? What's the context? What's the context? Any idea what the context is?
We are trying to find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, teachers, I'll read you the text. Would you like me to read you the text?
Yes.
Okay, here's the text. "This is it," Rick said in a cheerful voice. Through the windows of the classroom, I could see the men. They were not in their seats. Instead, they were circling the room restlessly, like lions in a cage. "Is there going to be a guard in the room while I teach?" I asked. I realized that this was something that should have been straightened out earlier. Rick looked at me with deep concern. "I'll come by a bit later, see that you're okay," he said. I walked through the door into the classroom. My students barely looked human. The desks were arranged in no special order, except that some of the men had got into racial groups. Many of them were smoking, and under the glare of the lights I could see their tattoos. One man with a pointed beard and a long mane of black hair circled behind me and around the other side of the desk. He was easily the tensest man I had ever seen. I thought of telling him to sit down, but wondered what I would do if he refused. So I kept the suggestion to myself. I placed my leather bag on the desk and faced the class. Nobody paid any attention to me. The conversation grew louder. I wanted to cut out and run. I'd volunteered for this. Every teacher has these moments of panic. We worry about rebellion, our moral authority lost, the students taking over. I had a teacher in high school, a Miss Hutchinson, who after taking roll would turn towards the board and be followed by an avalanche of paper aeroplanes and spitballs, sometimes even the bodies of students flying forward, an impromptu riot. I unpacked my bag and began the roll. A few names down, I called out, "Diaz?" No answer. "Diaz?" I said again. "Ain't my name," a man in the front row volunteered. "Why did you answer?" I asked. "I'm here under another name," he said. "An alias. I could tell you my real name, but then I'd have to kill you." "We'll count that as present," I said. Several members of the class laughed. At least that slowed down the conversation. I finished the roll and handed out the syllabus for the class. I read it aloud, and when I got to the end, I looked up. "So any questions?" I asked. The paper trembled in my hand. "Yeah, I got a question," a.k.a. DS raised his hand. "I want to know what the it means." Now, that's one of my favorite little texts ever. It's about a guy who volunteers, obviously, to teach in a prison in the United States. And that's his first day in class. And I love it because it encapsulates exactly what everyone in this room feels like when you go to a new class. You just don't know what's going to happen. And they may very well take you down and cut you into little pieces, or they may love you, you just don't know. But what was fascinating about that little example is that in a huge group like this, and with a little bit of chaos, and even the teacher messed it up a bit, but I had your attention. It was fantastic. Did you listen to that text? Yes, you listened to that text, and every time a word came past, you notice what happened? Every time a word came past, you sort of went, boom, like that. And my point is that just because you've got a big group doesn't mean that you can't do that. On the contrary, it allows you to do things like that. It allows you to do things at the front which will involve the whole group. And everyone in the group looks more or less, you're very polite and you're good actors, but looks more or less as if they're quite interested. And that's not a little thing. That's quite a big thing. Especially the bigger the group, the bigger it is. Let's try it in two more ways. Let's try this. We're going to do a fill-in. I'm going to read you a poem, but quite a few of the words are missing. So what you need to do is get out a piece of paper. You need a piece of paper, write down on the left-hand side the numbers 1 to 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, to 40. Write down the numbers from 1 to 40. 1 to 40. It's a 40 fill-in. It's a 40 gap fill-in, and it's only a short poem. But there we are. One to 40, 40, not 14, not 14, 40. 1 to 40, down the left-hand side. Have you done that? Quick, quick. 1 to 40 on the left-hand side. 1 to 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 40. Got it? Have you got it? Okay, here comes the poem. Now, what I want you to do, and you will have more than one chance to do this, is that when I read you the poem, I want you to see if you can guess what the missing words are. Doesn't sound very exciting, does it? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Are you ready? And so when, by the way, the first time it will be more difficult than the second and the third time, but have a go anyway. Just have a go, have a try, just anything that comes to mind, any crazy thing that comes to mind. One as you out of the rings. Just write down, guess, just have a guess, just have a guess. Wrapped in a you it. Do you like the way I pronounce that? You it. Each time it's just one word. As you up the door You ask the to on. Going into the you the merest On the is a Would you mind you explain? I'm the the door to. You hurry back to take the call. The at the is to you You hear the click in the you Do you have any idea what it's about at all? Anyone got a sort of flicker of an idea? Have you? Don't tell me. Have you got a flicker of an idea? You think you have? Do you have any words written down at all? Yes, one or two of them sort of it works, but how many of them? What's the percentage of words that you have there? About 5%, max? Okay. What we're going to do now is I'm going to read the poem again, but this time I'll give you the first letter of each blank, okay? The first letter. Now, don't shout it out. I just want you to see if it makes any sense now. Let's try again. You ready?